We're live. This is the check-in show with Don Zanklin, Claudio Capri, Paul Ash, and Mike Gamash. I got a pop-up just now saying, "Hey, we're gonna update your computer." Just as we were about to start.
Perfect timing.
Delay.
I was trying to find the delay button, but everything was over the controls side of StreamYard, so I was to pick. I'm glad everyone has put up their preferred pronouns. Claudio, we have questions.
Him, he, him, Italian. I thought his pronoun would be handsome comedian.
No. That's only for tonight.
Welcome to the people who are tuning in.
Yes.
Lise, it's been a little while. I hope
hey, Lise.
Lise, also known as Mike's sister.
Yes. Yes. The last name gave it away.
No, really? Oh my God! Such an M. Night Shyamalan plot twist.
Yes, I know.
What was I gonna say? You know what? I hate mornings. I really do. I was told the most romantic thing I have ever said was, "I love you more than I hate mornings."
That's definitely romantic, Paul.
Yeah.
God.
By the way,
my God, you are a softie.
By the way, Lise pointed out the daughter had a baby.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations, Lise.
Her daughter is my goddaughter. So now I have a goddaughter.
Is she your niece?
She's my niece also, but she's my goddaughter too. So.
Nice. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. She has a sweet little girl named Flora, who's an absolute spitting image of her mother so far.
Wow. Does she have a brother named Fauna?
No, not yet. First baby, so.
Okay, all right.
Soon.
Sorry, I don't mean to be teasing. Well, we got a lot of viewers in.
Hey,
already.
Good. Yes.
This show is just generally a little bit of we do a little panel and a chat through to check in on our friends, see how everybody is doing. And congratulations, Elise. Sorry if I did not make that clear when I was giving some gentle ribbing to you via your brother Mike. And I'm stuttering a little bit much. I'm not sure why that's happening.
Okay, maybe that's your internet connection.
Yeah, maybe it's the echo. Maybe you're boring my internet connection.
Right, Don? Yep. Anybody?
How is everybody?
How is everyone?
If
yes.
you're tuning in, just say hi. Let us know where you're watching from.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Don, you're sort of in the hot seat area. How has your week been? You've actually done half a day's of work already. I'm such a lazy git.
No, this has been a weird week. I started it with a couple of arguments at home, and then volunteer obligations, and then rehearsing because there's comedy coming up. Storytelling. I'm doing a storytelling show on Sunday, and my birthday's on Monday.
Hey!
Thank you. So it's a typical, lead up to birthday week.
All right. So Claudio, there's something that's under my skin right now. So,
sure.
But Claudio, what is your thoughts? How's your week been?
Good.
Hold it, Don. What was the argument at home? You just sort of glossed over that.
Yeah, I tend to do that. Oh no, just I've been married for almost 20 years. I think.
Wow, excellent.
14, because I'm kind of 2 7-year itches. So these things are part of a healthy relationship.
I understand.
So,
I understand.
It's sort of like timing.
Understand. Okay.
Exactly.
I can't
Claudio
agree.
Doesn't really understand. He's just saying he understands.
Oh, thank you.
Exactly.
Happy birthday, Don. Yay, thanks.
Yay, happy birthday, Don.
Thank you.
Yeah. As of October 3rd, my wife and I will have been together for 40 years.
Wow.
Not married for 40 years, because it took us about 8 years to get married.
Oh,
it was a long engagement, long, convoluted, many stories in between. But we had a long distance relationship. She was in university here in Montreal. I was living in Sorel at the time. I was working for Canada Post.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things that had to happen before we finally got together, moved into a house, and got married.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad. It took us 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
I know a friend who's been with his girlfriend for 10 years, and now it's 3 years to now that they're 2 years that they're married.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, good on them. Good on them.
That's-
They were college and university sweethearts.
Okay.
Aw.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want to get in on the dad stories, but my parents were married for 60 between 64 and 66 years.
Wow.
And the year my mother passed, my dad actually died just a week or so before their anniversary. It's like he couldn't be apart from her.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suspect that that's going to be a story on my side too, because my parents are still living, both of them, but it's like they're still going strong, and they've been together for 68 years. And my father actually said when he turned 93, told me, it's only 7 years. I think I'll hold on for 7 years. He wants to hit the triple digits, so.
Sounds competitive.
I was like, wow, okay, Dad, go for it. Like, more power to you. But they're still living in their own home. They're still active and well, and they have, obviously they're elderly, so they have some aches and pains and certain health issues, but by and large they're in great shape. And wow, I'm just like, I mean, people often tell me, wow, both of your parents are still alive. Holy crap. It's like, hey, it happens.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely enjoy it. Be thankful every day.
Yes, I am. I mean, they've during this pandemic, they have been supported massively by my 4 sisters and my brother, who all live in Sorel with them. In fact, one of my sisters lives right next door, so they are very well, like, sheltered and taken care of and supplied and everything. But my brothers and sisters, I thank them immensely for that effort. On my side, because I'm a distance away, I'm focusing on my mother-in-law, because my mother-in-law only has my wife and my wife's brother as support. So we're sort of our threesome here of helpers supporting my mother-in-law. She's also living in her own house. It's like, my sister Lee lives one street away from them. So it's like it's quite the support network they have, which I guess keeps them safe and well.
I like families like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine isn't like that, but I do like families like that.
Everybody's different. Everybody has their own stories, and everybody's just, whatever works or doesn't work in some cases. I've known people who have families that have, split apart, drifted apart, and through no evil intent, they don't talk anymore. They don't interact. It's like, they don't even, you hardly know that they exist, so it's like, okay,
that's where
fine.
The chosen family comes in,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
your friends you choose, your family you endure, basically.
Well, I mean, my family, there was like a diaspora. We spread out quite a bit, but my siblings are all older and semi-retired, and they've all sort of moved back to the same area that we grew up. But even though we don't talk regularly, we all are always there for each
connection
other at any point. So
yeah,
it's distance and silence doesn't mean that there isn't care.
Oh no, I agree. I'm talking about certain families that I've been in my circle of acquaintances. There are families that have essentially splintered and who basically deny the existence of one another. So it's like, that's I find that sad, a little pathetic. It's like, we're all humans, and we all have a connection to maintain, and to deny that you have a connection is kind of like denying yourself, your own being. It's a part of you that you're shutting off. Yeah, it's very, very sad.
I don't know. There's been two people in my life that I've sort of like, I don't want to interact with you anymore. And one who was very violently opposed to that, and another one who sort of recognized that, yeah, he caused a grievance and it's best that he keeps away. So
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
On a brighter note.
Okay,
exactly.
Because I was about to ask a tough question. Whether we're changing to happier things.
Okay, on a brighter note, I have been busy like a 3-balled tomcat this week.
I really probably be in traction, those tomcats. But anyway.
Anyways,
I'm just saying that tomcat's probably uncomfortable. I mean,
very.
Like the chance of it having like a torsion would be.
Yeah. But he is a cat.
50%.
He is a cat, and they're very flexible. They can like fit into tight spaces, and so I'm pretty sure.
Chance for his
yes, torsions. Yes, but I'm sure that because they're so flexible and so versatile in shaping themselves to their environment, he's probably cool with it. It's the action. It's the action. It's all about the action. But getting back to what I was saying, I've got so many house projects all coming to a head at once that this week has been a lot of there's been a lot of things that because of the scheduling and the things that need to fall into place, everything's been falling like dominoes, and will continue to fall like dominoes for like maybe the next month or so.
Okay.
So it's quite. I'm very busy, and also sort of like very tired because there's a lot of things I've had to do, and I still have yet to do, and so but it's coming together, and by this time next year, I think I will have the full fruits of all those labors, but it's still a whole fucking year.
Yeah, that's a lot of patience required.
Yeah.
Well, you're not ripping up your kitchen.
No, but I am ripping up the backyard.
Yes, yeah.
Not yet.
I'm just saying it would be much worse if you lose the kitchen or the bathroom or a bathroom.
Well,
if you have bathrooms.
I have a bathroom and a powder room, but last year, around this time last year, I was sort of doing a semi-reno of my upstairs bathroom, and that put it out of commission for about a week.
Was that week that you smelled bad?
Yes, it was. You could get that through the camera, right? It was so bad it actually permeated the internet and came out your speakers. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, sponge baths are no fun.
Well,
who you're doing them with?
Well, depends. Yeah, depends who you're getting a sponge bath from. Yeah.
Yes, I think I mentioned that.
Maybe at your age, Mike. How? You 3-balled tomcat.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. What the heck, Mike? Gee.
Someone needs to draw that. Someone
yes.
in the audience.
Yes, please. Any artist, cartoonist that can send us a little sketch of a 3-balled tomcat. Lise is not an artist, unfortunately, but she must be laughing her head off right now.
No, she probably just doesn't want to be thinking about her brother's balls.
Nor should she, really. Come on.
Wow, your voice cracked when you said it. You just hit. I guess 3 balls. You got just triple puberty.
Yes, I know. My voice suddenly got deeper.
I don't know, sir.
Yeah.
No, Lisa's not at all. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Well, this is going off the rails quite quickly. So.
Exactly.
Next.
I got vaudeville tonight, and I'm really excited because I have a comedian on who's originally from like New Glasgow, Nova Scotia.
Oh, okay.
But I met them doing a show with them in Germany, and they are Berlin based, and they have the amazing job of being a flight attendant. So, or air steward. I'm not sure what the proper term is now.
Cabin attendant, as they call it.
Cabin attendant.
Cockpit
Yes.
attendee.
Not cockpit. Cabin, not cockpit.
What's with you two?
I know. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you repeating sexual innuendo words?
Why are you stating them in the first place, Claudio?
Because here's the thing, I'm trying to throw him off, and it's working.
But yeah, so Ben McLean is also besides doing comedy, he also hosts fetish nights in Berlin.
Ooh. German fetish nights must be something else.
He's been Mr. Leather. He was an MC for the Mr. Leather competition in Los Angeles. He gets to travel, and while he's traveling, he gets to perform at all these wonderful places that he has layovers.
Mm-hmm.
And so
sorry, pardon the pun.
Claudio, do not layovers. No. Don't touch it, Claudio, please.
Claudio's still processing that one, Mike. You shouldn't have spelled it out for him. Now he's.
I think we just blew Claudio's mind.
So don't now he's going to be thinking about something else being blown. Just don't. What is in the water? We just had a
I know what
is.
I know. You know what? It's the first day of fall. It's the autumnal equinox. It's equal day, equal night. We're losing our minds.
You're acting like it's spring. That's what.
Yeah,
it is.
It's spring in Australia.
Well, you know,
we haven't heard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the comic is going to be on Bois de Ville. Does he do any work with Smut Slam? Because I think the person who started Smut Slam, I think erotic sexual storytelling, roughly, is based in Berlin, I think, or in Germany now too.
I'm not sure. Sorry, when you said Smut Slam, I was thinking of what's her name? Who was based out of Montreal for a while, but I think is in Toronto. What's her name?
I blanked on the name, unfortunately.
It's a erotic storytelling show.
Exactly. They had a live show in Ottawa. Cameron Moore, Cameron Moore is in Germany now, I believe.
She's in Germany now. Okay, I wasn't aware. Yeah. I mean, when I was in Germany was 2015, and that's when I got the chance to work with Ben, and I'm not. That hasn't come up between us. But I got invited by Ben to perform on a show called the Christopher Street Day Week comedy show. And,
when is this?
That was back in 2015.
It was. Yes, I remember.
They invited me to do this show, and I had no idea that Christopher Street Day Week is actually Pride Week in Germany. That's what they call it. So because Christopher Street is the street that the Stonewall riots happened on.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I did a joke for a long time about why do you not call it Pride? And, well, we're German. We tried Pride once.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, that did not go well.
Yeah, so that was. They loved that joke there at the time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
it's how do you say Nazi in Germany without actually saying Nazi?
Nazi.
It's actually country bumpkin. That's what that is.
Yeah.
A Nazi is basically it's a shortened version for redneck kind of.
Redneck. Yes.
It's a rural.
Rube.
Racist
rube.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful how you use it because you could actually be arrested.
Charged, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just had somebody, an acquaintance of mine on Facebook, who was thrown in Facebook jail for 30 days for spouting hate speech when he responded to somebody he responded Sieg Heil to someone about the election, about the Conservative Party of Canada, or the PPCC, not the People's Party of Canada. Yeah, and he said Sieg Heil, and he was cited for hate speech. And I Googled it. I Google translated Sieg Heil, and it says "be safe" is the translation. So Sieg Heil is actually it was associated with the Nazis.
Yeah.
But to term that thing to term it like hate speech, I don't know. It's like
well. Here's the thing.
It's a stretch.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, a lot of people shout that at right-wing
Yes.
rallies.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, because here's the thing, like obviously, look, be safe, but be safe was used in that term amongst themselves.
Yes, it was a racially motivated thing.
Exactly. Like this within the party itself, but then so now that is also used as a slur. So when you're saying be safe, it could look at as in within within racist rallies, like, hey, be safe because whatever. Well, I'm not gonna keep going down.
The context is important.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I agree.
The context is very important. Yes,
I agree.
When I was in Germany, there was two. I believe they were Chinese tourists. I think they were Chinese tourists who were arrested having their picture taken in front of the Brandenburg Gate. And giving the
salute. The salute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's illegal to do the salute in Germany, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
anywhere.
It's ever since the war.
But the thing is, there's parts of the world that it's like who are not as involved or with
aware.
And so for them, it's.
Yeah, but that kind of
insensitivity,
right? It's like going to a graveyard and doing something.
Yes.
I don't know.
But I have not to defend these Chinese tourists. They should have been a little bit more aware. If they had the means to be tourists and visit other countries, you inform yourself about things.
Yes,
but
exactly.
but when Mao Zedong was the leader of the country, whenever they had military parades, the raised arm, maybe not quite the same way that the Germans used it, but the raised arm as a salute was used in China. I think the arm was raised up higher than the German salute, because the German salute is like up, just above the chest,
just above the eyes.
Yeah.
But I think
whereas the other one is higher, so I don't know.
Yeah, but it's a difference between confusing gestures. But if you're going to go to a place like the Brandenburg Gate, you know exactly what the context is.
Absolutely. And plus, as Mike mentioned, like wherever you're going to go, touristy wise, just brush up on history, so where you're going and what you're going to see, and if you're going to take a picture, don't be an idiot. I mean,
it's I think it was definitely a cultural disconnect.
But still,
it's like
I'm sure the whole world understood what happened in Germany. I mean, unless you're young or you're living under, young
and uninformed, really.
Yeah, exactly.
China doesn't consume as much anime as, say, other Asian nations, and I might be confused. They may not have been Chinese, but if you take a look at a lot of like the anime, there's a lot of anime that references stylistically the Third Reich. Right? Because like what is it, Karl Lagerfeld?
Karl Lagerfeld? Yeah.
Was the designer of the uniforms? Like
that Hugo Boss was the designer.
Hugo Boss. Okay, sorry.
Hugo Boss.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Hugo Boss was the designer of the Nazi military uniforms.
Yeah.
And to this day, Hugo Boss is still a going thing. There's all sorts of businesses
in Speer, who was such an influential architect.
Volkswagen.
Television.
Volkswagen was the people's car. Yeah. Exactly. It's like.
Yeah. And that was just so they wouldn't have to buy the Citroën.
Yeah.
The
French Citroën.
They wanted to be superior.
Yeah. And there's so many, like, Siemens, the company Siemens, excellent engineering company, fantastic products, make innovations and stuff like that. They were essentially part of the Nazi war machine. Krupp's, which a steel maker, but also makes all sorts of home appliances. And
part owner of Daimler Chrysler now, Krupp's.
I think they may be.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There are a lot of companies that made a lot of money and got a lot of information by being part of the military-industrial complex, and that's something that's still to this day with what's happened in Afghanistan. Even
yes, exactly.
There's companies that make a lot of money.
Oh God, yeah.
And they
war
is to reinvest.
War is big business.
Always has been.
Always has been. Yep.
And people are hitting each other with sticks.
Yeah, exactly. And there's all sorts of little things too that that have been associated with the Third Reich, the Nazis. Like take for example their way of marching in their military parades was the goose step. Well, the goose step is also used in other countries. North Korea is not exactly a shining example, but North Korea uses the goose step march. There's countries in South America that do. I'm trying to remember. There's also there's another
Should I make a joke about South America having some of the same training.
Yes, exactly. Well, Argentina.
Sorry,
the boys in Brazil.
That was uncalled for and a little bit of a generalization.
Yes, it was. But Uruguay, Paraguay. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, there are associations now still to this day that, let's face it, World War II still was only like 70 years ago, 75 years. 2020 was the 75th anniversary, I believe.
Within your parents' lifetime.
Yeah. So it's still fairly recent, and there are still repercussions and associations to be made with that dark period of human existence.
But history tends to repeat itself.
History tends to forget a lot too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But what can we do?
Yeah. Let's go on to something other.
Exactly.
Well, actually, I wanted to mention, since we're mentioning something
Yes.
there, anyone ever see the movie The Boys from Brazil?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I've seen it. Read the book. Yeah.
Gregory Peck,
Yes.
who's known for playing a lot of leading men and heroes, plays the main villain.
Yeah, he plays the Mengele character.
He plays Mengele. Period. That's
Period. Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposedly Mengele. So
yeah.
Wow, that must have been like an epic performance. Like I can imagine that he would bring a lot of intensity to that role.
Well, it was an intense. Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. It's an incredible film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don, you don't have your earbuds in, or?
Oh, I do. Can you hear me now? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think I need to hold it like this.
Sorry, it just sounded like your mic cut out when Mike was talking. I apologize.
Do you know the story of the Boys from Brazil, Don?
No spoilers.
No spoilers? Okay.
No, I don't watch a lot of military movies.
Well, this is not a military thing. It's
a spy horror film.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
And the titular boys from Brazil are clones of a certain leader.
Ah.
Yeah.
We can leave it there. It's starting to take a WW2 theme.
It starts. Basically it's a Simon Wiesenthal type character stumbling across a conspiracy and encountering these boys.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's who played the lead?
The Simon Wiesenthal character was played. Oh God.
Another fantastic actor.
Yes.
There is a small Steve Guttenberg actually has a very small role in the beginning of the film, and it's a very serious kind of role, but he plays it with great earnest.
It sounds like it reminds me a little bit of I've forgotten the name of the movie of the series, but it features these superheroes, like not Elastigirl, plastic. There's a robot guy, plastic, stretchy.
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. Yeah, there was an episode where they went to Argentina, and there was an eccentric inventor who seemed to be, I don't know, have WW2 roots, who was, coming up with this dystopian plot. But it reminds me a little bit of what you described from the Boys of Brazil.
I think the Simon Wiesenthal character was a British actor. I'm trying to remember his name.
Olivier.
There you go.
Laurence
sounds
Olivier.
like a really powerful movie.
It is a trope that they go to a lot, like the Boys, the TV series The Boys, is ex-Nazi scientist. I mean, the space race as it existed wouldn't have happened without Operation Paperclip, where the OSS, with a precursor to the CIA, scooped up a bunch of Nazi scientists.
Yeah.
Nazi rocket scientists.
Werner
von Braun.
That they brought over.
Yeah, Werner von Braun was the head of the Saturn project that put astronauts on the moon.
Yeah,
and he was essentially a Nazi military rocket scientist.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
In fact, if Werner von Braun had been more successful in his rocketry, and the result would have been the bombardment of Britain and London, the war would have changed him dramatically.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
He was thwarted by intelligence and selected bombing of rocket development sites and stuff like that. There were the military, the British military were right on top of the Russian, the German war effort and the German machinations, because they had broken through with that Enigma machine. As of like 1942, I think, all of the communications that the Germans were doing with their supposedly unbreakable code machine, the Brits were just like reading them like a newspaper.
Yeah. They had to keep that silent. Winston Churchill actually allowed a British town to be bombed nearly off the map
because
they were aware that the attack was coming, where it was attacking. But if they had showed that they had known, then the Germans would have known that they had broken
the code had been broken. Yeah. These are the things that war brings about. You have to make decisions that are not exactly moral or ethical, but in the greater scheme of things, they're for the greater good.
Yeah.
And we're not.
What the?
What?
Sorry.
It's your computer.
I just took a look just to see if I could bring up the trailer for the Boys in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to see the trailer or no?
Sure.
We've got one sure. Claudio.
Go ahead.
All right.
There we go.
Give me a second here. Now the thing is too, I was also looking for another film that starred Sir Laurence Olivier before he was knighted.
Mm-hmm.
But I also noticed that on YouTube, The Boys from Brazil, the full film is on it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like when YouTube does that.
Well, it's not necessarily them that does it, but
true. They allow it.
Permit it. Yeah, they permit it.
Exactly. They don't take it down right away.
And I'll tell you about the other film with Laurence Olivier, because it's also up for free on YouTube as well. But this
is it The Marathon Man?
Oh, no, it's a different one. I think I just did that wrong. Let me just just redo that.
Because if I recall, wasn't he the dentist in The Marathon Man?
I think you're right.
Dustin Hoffman gets tortured by this dentist, and it's Laurence Olivier doing it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. This should be the trailer.
History has shown how one man with a dream can turn the world into a nightmare. Can history repeat itself? The Boys from Brazil starts where that nightmare left off. But for the dream to live again, 94 men must die. Gregory Peck is the architect of that dream. Laurence Olivier is the man who must destroy it before it destroys the world.
He betrayed you! He betrayed the Iron Race!
We cannot tell you who the Boys from Brazil are, only that they are not science fiction.
30 years the world has forgotten, and you persist and persist. Will not set guards now, madame. You are prisoner.
The time is the present. The people exist. The threat is real.
Your operation has been cancelled. No. Your operation has been cancelled. Mine continues. Barry is dead. Herr Liebermann.
Only you can decide if it's a dream or a nightmare. But be warned, if history can repeat itself, so can man.
A total of 94 assassinations.
Look for the Boys from Brazil before they look for you.
So, did that seem nice and intense?
Very intense, yeah.
A little bit in part. I want to know more about that dog.
It does have like once you've seen it, you realize how much of the film is actually spoiled by the trailer.
Yeah.
But I think the trailer is kind of confusing, especially with how they are reused the dogs all the way through it. But you could see how beautifully it was shot for so much of it. Like the use of color, the art direction in it is pretty amazing.
Yes.
And these two amazing actors who are a little long in the tooth at that time, but playing against...
Well, three. James Mason was also very good in that too.
Yes. He's less,
the supporting cast,
known.
but the supporting cast was actually pretty good. Very good.
Yeah.
And they showed like easily, I would say, a third of Steve Guttenberg's screen time.
Yes.
In the trailer.
Yeah. I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other film with Sir Laurence Olivier before he was knighted, and he's actually in the film billed as Larry Olivier, is called The 48th Parallel.
Okay.
And it is shot in Canada by a British company. I think it's the Royal Film something. And it was shot in Canada because at that time London was being bombed. It was shot during World War II. And it was shot prior to the United States involvement in World War II.
Yes.
So the storyline is a German sub sends ashore a scavenging crew of 5 to go pick up supplies in northern Canada in the Bay of Hudson. But the sub gets spotted and bombed. And now there's these 5 Nazis.
German
agents. Not agents, they're ship's crewmen.
Oh, okay. And they're cut loose in Canada.
In Canada. And so their goal is to reach the neutral country of the United
US.
States to get below the 48th parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And stay hidden while they're doing it. And it's a beautiful travelogue of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And they also encounter so many people, and of course they have internal strife as well. But Larry Olivier plays a French woodcutter.
Oh God. Okay.
With quite a thick accent as well. But he's one of the first people to sort of like stand up to these
to
invaders.
Germans. Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
You have to look that up.
I can't find the trailer on YouTube, but the film is on. Hold it. Oh my goodness! Maybe I had the title wrong. It is the 49th parallel.
Yeah. I was wondering because 49th parallel is the border between the western states, starts at Lake Superior and goes all the way to BC. We're actually here in Montreal. We're actually south of the 49th parallel.
Wow.
Yeah, because the Vermont border, New Hampshire border, New York State border, is actually just north of the 45th parallel. If you go on Google Maps and you locate Montreal, I think we're at 45 degrees 8 minutes or something like that. It's in the what is it, latitude? Yeah, latitude. Longitude is along the equator. Yeah, latitude. We're actually we're north of the 45th, which is halfway to the equator.
And London, England is on the 52nd.
Yeah. London, England is further north than Vancouver.
They will actually have they're further north than Montreal.
Yes, much further.
With the talk of the slowdown of the of the Gulf Stream coming up, that can really screw up a lot of Europe because they don't experience the cold weather that we do.
Yeah, the coast of France, Britain, all of that, Ireland, Iceland, even though it's called Iceland and even though they do have mountains and snow, is actually fairly warm. And not just because of the thermal, vents and the volcanoes and all that, but they're actually pretty warm considering they're so far north because of the Gulf Stream.
Yeah. And Greenland is actually full of snow.
Yes, because the Gulf Stream misses it completely.
Yeah, and they called it Greenland because they wanted to encourage settlers.
It was a big joke. It was the punk, the Viking punking of Europeans, of the Danish people,
of each other,
basically. Yeah.
I found the trailer. Do you guys have time for another trailer?
Sure. Yeah.
Just
why not?
See this historic piece.
Yes.
Because it's. If you want to be patriotic about Canada and not understand why, this is a great film. So.
They were alone. Between them and safety lay 1,000 miles of dangerous terrain and a whole hostile nation. The 49th parallel, a peaceful, undefended frontier. To the north is Canada, which, to these men, is 3.5 million square miles of desperate adventure.
Larry Olivier.
I warn you not to resist.
Run, Liz!
Fire! Bingo!
A handful of ruthless men on the run brought fear to the quiet cornfields.
You're going to tell the police about us, are you? Little girls should be seen and not heard.
We're going to change our plans. We're going to Vancouver.
Vancouver?
A Japanese ship leaves Vancouver in a month's time.
Is it far to Vancouver?
About 2,000 kilometers.
Their perilous escape route lay a trail of terror across a continent.
These men are here in this courtyard. They may be standing right next to you. Each one of you, look closely at your neighbor. Remember, each one of these men has every reason to be afraid. They have already been responsible for the death of 11 defenseless people. Sooner or later, their nerves will crack. Look closely at your neighbor.
1. 2. 3. 4. That's the lot.
Close on the out! Watch! I'm clutching at anything! I can't see the surface! I can't see! I can't see the land!
Did it just give away the whole movie in that trailer?
They
Not
tend
quite.
to do that.
Wow, that is shocking.
Not exactly. If you notice, though, Raymond Massey, as in like Massey Hall,
Yes.
and also Massey Ferguson Tractors,
Yes.
is in that movie as well,
Mhm.
and he, I believe, has the last spoken line in the film,
Oh my gosh.
which is great.
It looks very much like the early wartime propaganda of stuff that Hollywood even put out, like
It
when
was.
after so yeah.
Like I said, if you admit, when I watched it, it was like, wow, this Canada place seems like a nice place to visit.
Yeah.
The prominence given to Aboriginal actors in it in the trailer sort of belies how much they're featured in the film. But
Right.
Yeah.
They were there. They were their set decoration, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's I think it's also because it was primarily for the British market.
Right.
It was shot in
so they were-
Canada.
Canada was exotic.
Yes, and they do a great job of showing the exoticness of Canada, how
Look
exotic
at all of
Canada
this
is.
open space. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's even a reference to the group of 7 in it, because
Possibly, yeah.
there's a painter who's encountered in the wilderness. So
Yeah.
Was there were there any shots of big cities like Toronto or Montreal, Vancouver?
yes,
Oh, okay.
there were.
They mentioned Vancouver, so yeah.
They mentioned
Yeah.
Vancouver. They also mentioned spoilers, I suppose, for this movie that's came out in the early 1940s. The final train was the final scene takes place on a train crossing at Niagara Falls,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
so I believe it's a train that leaves from Toronto that's
Yeah.
heading that way.
Nice.
Heading to Buffalo. Yeah. There's actually there's some of the wartime stuff that happened here in Canada, even though the war wasn't fought on our territory, like this movie sort of like gives us a little snippet of it, but there were actually POW, prisoner of war camps here in Canada. Many of them housed like German prisoners, but not like higher ranking prisoners, but like just like common soldiers. And there was actually one in Sorel. And when it closed down after the war, a lot of the prisoners elected to remain in Canada. They just didn't want to go back to Germany. Yeah. And so, there were quite a few of them. There were certain areas where, like, for example, here in Montreal, there was one, I think, at Long Point. There was an encampment of German prisoners, and they would keep German prisoners in places where there wasn't a population of German descendants. Like they wouldn't have put them in Kitchener-Waterloo, for example. And here in Montreal, they didn't keep Italian prisoners because of the Italian population here. So they put them in sort of like dispersed them amongst areas where, like, there were no Italians and there were no Germans in Sorel. Let me tell you,
the difference in the treatment of the Japanese Canadians who were interned.
Yes, versus the Americans. Yeah.
Versus how the Germans were treated.
Yes.
And the Germans were actually actively fighting against Canada, where the Japanese Canadians were not. Is pretty disgraceful. In New Brunswick, there's still the remnants of an old camp, and it was pretty luxurious. I believe some more of the German officers were kept there.
Probably.
But they had shows. They had they had a lot of amenities that the Japanese Canadians did not have, which points to this.
It's ironic.
Canada.
It's ironic that the Geneva Convention, protects the rights of prisoners of war better than indigenous or native people of descents of belligerent countries, descendants of belligerent countries were.
Can I ask it? Let's just get off this tact. There's a quick question I want to ask everybody. How would you feel? Because Mike, you're not back to performing yet.
No, not yet. No.
How do you feel? Because somebody has told me that if somebody's unvaccinated, if somebody's refusing to be vaccinated, they can still get on shows. Because of the fact that they're considered to be an employee of the place, so they have to basically leave right after they're set.
No.
So here's the thing. So it also depends. There are some venues who are just like whatever, but most venues are not gonna. So what they do, like the
Wiggle Room, we make sure all the acts are double vax.
Same thing with Pub St. Paul and Lord William. Actually, the owner of Lord William tells everyone, whether you're comedians or people coming to or non-comedians, they check for your vaccine passports. So a comic who does not have a vaccine passport, well, they can't get booked. Same thing with Pub St. Paul, whether they're not. But we also take into consideration. We're like, listen, if you're not vaxxed, and then let's say if the pub gets fined, it's going to be on you. So we don't recommend that they come unless they're fully vaccinated. In
Ottawa, I'm not sure about the fining rules, but in the show I'm on Saturday, we were told that audience members and performers all need to produce proof of vaccination, the double vax. But the point that concerns me that wasn't considered is that being vaccinated doesn't stop us from carrying the infection and infecting others. So we can show our passport, but if one of us encountered COVID in the community, was asymptomatic, we could still pass it along. But the problem is, in my opinion, that it's not that the unvaccinated person is putting everyone else at risk. They're taking an extra risk for themselves, because they don't have the protection of possibly not dying from COVID if they contracted. So I think that's the issue. They're not a threat to those of us who are vaxxed any more than we are. Like if, say this unvaccinated person is masking, isolating, not going into the community for whatever reason. But I think it would be reckless of them to want to perform and put themselves at risk by doing this extra thing because they don't have the protection.
Just look to our south and you will see that rapidly, especially in North America, I think, rapidly, and maybe in other parts of the world as well, because this is rapidly turning into a pandemic of the unvaccinated, because by and large, people who get vaccinated do not suffer the COVID infection as severely, and very few people who were double vaccinated have died from it. There have been cases. I know of one person who was double vaccinated and still caught it and died, but it's very rare. Whereas the unvaccinated are now 90%, over 90% of the deaths, COVID deaths occurring in North America, are to the unvaccinated. So it's like, you're unvaccinated and you want to perform at a venue where you're like, just going to, be just like, oh yeah, it's just same old. Well, you're taking a hell of a risk, buddy.
The thing is, they are of greater risk, but it's also it's through the unvaccinated that we're probably going to get a new variant.
Yes, exactly.
Or the fact, if they spread it to somebody who is vaccinated, that there's a chance of a variation that is going to be immune
resistant.
To vaccination.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know when they first brought in the rules about double vaxxing, we had to turn away somebody, like a group at the Wiggle Room, because the person said, well, I can't be vaccinated because I'm going through chemotherapy. And it's like, why are you outside right now?
Why the hell are you out and about? Yeah.
That is a reasonable
you're
question.
immune suppressed. You should not be hanging out with the groups. Now, one of the things when trying to explain to people that, yes, of course, people who have been vaccinated can still get COVID, I like to point out the mumps and the measles, right? Because everyone as kids, we probably all had the mumps or the measles, or knew people who did. The thing is, like 80 years ago, people were dying from these things. And when you got it as a kid, you missed, 3 days of school?
Yeah.
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 Wait, and this was people still got it even after being vaccinated? I've never had them. I just assumed our boosters protected us.
No,
you may have suffered it, Dawn, without really being aware of it, because it was so mild that it was imperceptible.
It's going to seem more like a cold then.
Yes.
Now the thing is, if you're if you have immunity issues, and you've got it, you might still have a severe case. But for the most part, it's going to be like a cough and a cold or whatever. Okay. Once you have the vaccine, the vaccine will help your body identify it and learn how to fight it. And I mean, I had a scare. I got a little bit of a cold, and I went and I got tested, and it came back negative. But I knew it was a possibility that I could have had it because I'm in the over 50 age range. There's a lot of things. I'm overweight. These are all things that could mean that I would be more susceptible. So yeah, it's I find it a little reckless of any producer that isn't asking all the performers to be.
Yes, it's a great way for that particular producer to have his show shut down, because as soon as he's pointed out as a spreader event, it's like, okay, nobody's gonna go there. Well,
it's going to hurt all events too.
Yes, exactly.
If people go, somebody went to a comedy show and got it. Yeah. This is, I don't know what the rules are in Ontario, Dawn. A nice little cough, just making you feel nervous.
Allergies.
The rules in Quebec are that people visiting a restaurant or a bar need to prove double vaccination.
Yeah.
People working at it don't.
Yeah, that's weird. I've never understood that. Yeah. It's like, no, they're the ones who are most in contact with people,
Exactly.
Yeah, someone mentioned that might be an issue in Ontario, but I haven't had the chance to look into it yet.
Although any type of self-respecting business that is providing service, is in the service industry and deals with the public, any type of, like grocery stores, they insist you mask up. They haven't asked for double vaccination proof yet, but they insist you mask up. They insist you distance. They insist you use hand sanitizer and all that stuff. Almost every place I've been, that's been the rule. But if you're going to be like close contact, like service industry, like restaurants, bars, whatever, clubs, those people who's running the person who's running the show, if he doesn't have the presence of mind to at least request may require, perhaps, if he's very adamant about it. It's his business, his rules.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have the presence of mind to require vaccination for the employees, I don't know if I'd go there for any
it's a
reason.
little unsettling.
Yeah, very unsettling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy! On that note, we're going to have to let go.
Yeah.
Don needs to get back to work.
Yeah.
That is the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's scary where the cracks are.
But everybody
check in, make sure that
everybody
everybody's
just
good
stay safe, and everybody do what's required, because
Yeah.
we're still not out of the woods.
That's true. That's
Be
true.
positive. Treat each other nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.